I, grand rising, restful slumber, peaceful day, whenever time you watching this. Today I have something kind of different to talk about. Where did the village go? Big mamas, big daddies, everything else in between. That old school village. Where did it go? As you know, I write down notes, so I will look down just to keep myself in line to things. It's just a group of ideas, and we talk about it. And please subscribe, comment, like, share. Please return to this. You know what I'm saying? Get a roster family. We on a journey, and we're just trying to figure this out along the way. And all we doing is conversing. And let's get into it. So, where did the village go? Big daddies, big mamas, big daddies. Remember coming up, you had to watch your mouth, keep your pants pulled up, and you knew if you heard that belt hit the sound of your ears, you had to run. Your street lights was coming on. On the weekends, it was the same thing. But you better not go off this block. You better not get caught going off this block. Tell the truth, I would go off the block sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We young, so we try. Yet I remember seeing the man still there, dirty from work. The man was still there, dirty from work. Some sitting on the porch to porch yelling. Beer in their hands, maybe a cigar. Watching everything. Big mamas were in the house cooking. But big mamas was in the house cooking. But you seen them out laughing too. Laughing from porch to porch. And then just yelling. And they was keeping on the eyes of the kids as well. And getting ready to feed them nourishment. We didn't see it at the time. The men were protecting the village, while Big Mama was providing the meals and the nutrients for the village. Both were important for the duality that was needed, just we didn't realize it yet at the time. That's a beautiful thing. Because we was young and we didn't understand what was really going on around us. We didn't understand that we was protected in a vast way that we didn't understand it. We was young. It wasn't just about the food or drinks. It was about watching everybody. It was about watching everybody from the corners. The big daddies held it down from the corners, the porches, and the sidewalks. Big mamas ran the kitchen and the conversation. If you messed up from one end of the block, by the time you got to the footsteps of your home, you have got discipline through the whole run of the block. You was corrected before you even understand what correction was, before you hit your door. That was the village. You had 20 pairs of eyes to make sure you made it to manhood or womanhood as your status. Why this worked? See, back then, it wasn't perfect. They would argue. They would fight. But it was the village business to make sure that the younger part of the village was safe. Big daddies talked sports, smoked their cigars, had that beer, but if trouble came, they stood up. Telling you calmly yet stern, strongly, get in the house. We didn't understand what that meant. It was a warning to you, because you knew when he was saying he meant something, and there was no room for discussion. And if the pair of eyes that may have seemed to come bring danger, with all the men standing up, and getting ready to attack, that danger knew it had some type of issue coming this way, or it had to fight through this defense to go through this village. So it was imperative and it was important for that time. We just didn't understand it yet. Sorry, coming back. Big mamas laughed on the porch, yelling across the street, drinks in their hand. But if a kid cried, every one of their heads turned. So any kid that would get hurt, harmed, anything, they was there to nurse them back to health, let them know it's okay, how to treat it. This is going on, that's going on. They knew how to nurse the village to be okay when wounds happen or somebody needed some type of emotional structure to be okay and sound. This is how you learned respect for your elders. Wow, somebody just threw a glass bottle. We're going to stay back and focus. I'm sorry, y'all. This is how we learn to respect our elders. You couldn't walk past an elder without speaking. The rest of the block would correct you. You had to learn to speak with your elders with respect. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. How are you doing today, ma'am? How are you doing today, sir? And you had to have that essence of respect, and it kept you in a certain line, and you learned manners. You learned how to conduct yourself. You learned how to, deal with problems just off of this, because they made sure you knew how to have conversations at the right age with being in a child's place, but growing into your adulthood, whether you're a man, whether you're a female, it doesn't matter. They was teaching you along the way how to conduct yourself and be more adulting growing up. No matter what you was facing, it taught you strength within yourself. Where did it go wrong? Somewhere along the line, the watch faded. The big daddies were too tired, too busy, some taking too soon. And that's a sad truth. Big mamas got stressed in, working double shifts, raising kids alone, and some just trying to keep the lights on. We stopped knowing who each other's kids' names was. We started talking across the fence. Some stopped trusting because the world said, mind your business. Instead of protect your people. So they said mind your business. So we started worrying about just our household. And the greatest way to break down the stressor is break down the community, piece by piece. But we can't ignore the truth. The system played a huge, huge part in every step of that breakdown. Is that not Babylon? I. It wasn't by accident. It was broken down piece by piece. Scatter the protectors. Help them keep busy. Too busy to keep the structure protected. And then the village will collapse on itself. So if you take away the protectors and then keep the nurturers too busy, you learn how to break down the system. That's why they say break down the man from the front door. Stop having him protect what is the structure of the home that the lady and him come up with and agree upon to keep this foundation good. And then it's the same thing with a community base. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how you shape it. Typically, the guy is supposed to be the protector of the walls to make sure everything goes good, which upon, again, is agreed between the two parties. No matter how massive, y'all come up with a kind of idea on how to do this, and he's to protect it. Okay, so if they take him away, scatter him, he can't do anything. Now you got the one who's trying to keep it hold together and trying to figure it out. And now that she's trying to figure it out by herself, it wavers. That thing behind it is the kids, the village that doesn't, the youth that doesn't know how to be the village because it's still absent in the mind, learning. Now you got to the village. The village can't protect itself because the ones who's supposed to protect is gone for different reasons. And now, then everything after that is broken in pieces. And if you don't know this full truth and don't understand the system's full truth and plan, you won't know their checkerboard, their chessboard that they're playing. And then you can't read it. You can't adapt to it. And you will have no idea how to play because they've been playing chess since before you was born. So you have to understand it. You can't ignore it. But you don't let it be your excuse. You learn how they play it. You adapt to it. You learn in which way the rules was. And then you find a way to flip it. They removed all the steady hands, replacing guidance with distance and distraction. They made survival feel like a solo mission instead of a team effort. So instead of where you would see back in the day, and then even before my time, I'm 36 years old. And I remember seeing some of the movies where you would see that maybe one household had a whole bag of beans and they made all the beans. The other housemaid had rice. You know what I'm saying? They like, listen, I ain't got much. We got beans, we got rice. The other person like, hey, we came up with pork chops. Whether you feel like eating pork, please don't miss the message. We done got the pork chops. We got the chicken. We got something sound. We got the cornbread. And everybody yelling. And the next thing you know, you got this community meal. It's fed the village. And they figured it out. They portioned it. However they needed to portion it. Whether they was in a group yard, they all starting to, you know what I'm saying, make it happen, then they on their different surrounding porches, or they just mixed it and then went back into their homes and they just come back out the next day and they talk stuff. This leads into Big Daddy still with the dirty clothes, talking his junk. This leads to Big Mama still in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying, making it happen. This is the community base, and it was beautiful. Little by little, the roots that we had on each other's lives was pulled up until they forgot we all grown from the same ground. If you don't understand what that means this big strong tree. You see one big strong tree. And the roots of it has every individual different things to make sure that this big strong tree, the village, is rooted from everybody. And they started pulling it up. So now the tree's getting weak. The foundation of it's weak. Tether it. Because see, you can chop it right here, but unless you take the roots up, it could have a chance, depending on what it is, it can grow again if you give it enough nutrients and enough nourishment. But they said, let's take it from the roots and chop it off as well. From there, it's broken. How do we fix this? Start to change. Become that person that talks to the people in your neighborhood. This is simple. Hey, how you doing? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Teach it to your children. Be that person that sits on the porch again. This kind of wise for the kids. Hey, street, car. Be careful, get out that street. Again, stay talking to your neighbors. Offer little things without asking for little things in return. And in time, 9 times out of 10 will be reciprocated. They'll start doing it. Remind each other that the old school way was the right way on which that we needed. When your kids are on the phone, don't necessarily always correct them and tell them to get off. Speak affirmations to them. Encourage them and their friends. And I take this position because some of my kids' friends fathers are in other spots, in other places, do different things. So I make sure that I'm always speaking encouragement best as I can and correction. So we have to find the little pockets with today's time to encourage and keep that village tight. And this is a must. You have to do this. Because until we do this, they're going to keep us broken, take down the structure, make sure we are never going to come together. And until we understand this, find it and do it, we're going to be broken as different communities. And we're way too good for this. We're way too intelligent for this. We have way too much power for them to think that they got it. And they truly don't. We do. I think that's the end of it. This is one of the fastest videos I guess I did. Let's just make sure that we get back to it. Learn from our elders again. Let's go back to also sometimes watching home movies together. Everything's so caught up in this frenzy of we have to be separated. Technology is everything. Sometimes disembowel that. We got a movie night. This movie night, we agreed to, we're kind of off the phones a lot less. And let's talk. Let's have the parents in there with them and let's watch a Friday. But talk to them while joking about the lessons within Friday. Let's watch, you know what I'm saying, Your Minister Society. And these are real things about what's going on within between there and raise the roots. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. You know what I'm saying? These are concepts that we really needed. Malcolm X movie, you know what I'm saying? And I just mean movies. You know what I'm saying? We can have discussions. You know what I'm saying? Let them pick sometimes. You hit up with what they want to watch, and then you have to do it and let them talk. This is how we go as a family. Take it. Even if it ain't once a week, try it once a month and then see how it goes. But enforce that once a month then. Whatever you think you're going to do, enforce it. You have to enforce it. And it may change just depending on schedule, but you have to enforce whatever day that is into that day and try it that way. I. Because Babylon isn't just government no more. Babylon can be individuals, a small group of individuals. Babylon is anything that overpresses us. I'm not under you, so that you can't underpress me. But don't you dare try to overpress me. We're all the same. I think that's all I got today. So, where did the village go? We know. How we put the village back together. We have a concept. Let's get there. One love. Bless up. I. And listen to your elder teachers. Thank you, Ghetto Rasta family. Ghetto Rasta locks out.